Xena Communications brings you this segment of the Sports Narrative radio show, offering customizable network cameras with installation for residential and commercial properties in the greater DFW area. Call or click today to set up your free consultation.
The first question out of the gate, someone kind of stole the big question I had going in, which was talking about this team, and we've talked about it on air, Mr. Bowers, you brought it up, they're quote-unquote lucky, according to a lot of the advanced analytics, and JD was kind of asked about that in a roundabout way and went into it, and he said, one of the things that we value that we feel is hard to measure and we feel that eventually will sort of come out as the story of what this organization's been able to do is the type of team they put together, the type of people they put in that clubhouse, and the way that they get along, they feed off of each other.
Yeah.
And basically said that's you can't really measure that. And so when they build a team a certain way, they're looking for certain types of players in certain situations that may lend to them beating the odds, so to speak. He didn't come out and say, now they may very well have an analytics answer that they're not going to let get out there because that's
industry secret, big time.
Exactly. But that was kind of his answer.
All right, so an interesting thought on that, Mr. Feltman, let me throw that to you, which is we've seen this before. We've seen teams be better than they are on paper. We've seen them, be able to be better than the sum of their parts in the past.
Sure.
Rarely, I think, have we seen those teams actually win at all.
Well, I think it depends on the team itself. I mean, if you have a crappy team that's better than the sum of its part, that's one thing. I mean, this is a team full of all-stars and future Hall of Famers. I mean, you got Adrian Beltre at third base, Cole Hamels, which is, how has he never won a Cy Young? I think this year he's going to win his
first. He's won
a
World Series MVP.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, this is not. I mean, this is quite a team. I think the Rangers suffer a little bit of small market mindedness here. That the fact that they need to take ownership of the, this team is World Series contender this year, guys. It really is, and it's because it's been put together so well. They are hitting out of their minds in those situations. But like Dustin says, when you put together a team that has a pattern and a plan, and they stick to it, and you have preparation, the odds are you're going to be successful more times than you're not. And I think that's what you're seeing more than anything. I think Bannister actually has a plan. He wants people to go in with certain at-bats, with certain ways, much like what we've discussed with the Cubs, and I think you're seeing it come to fruition.
It's interesting because, when you look at the analytics side of it and the people that are very critical, the things that they talk about is the fact that, they're 13th in position player WAR. They're, the pitching staff, obviously, a lot of that has, not with Yu Darvish now a part of it because he was in here a lot of the season, and a lot of those, season statistics that all add up to this team shouldn't be as good as it is. Basically, run differential, things like that all say that this should be a 2 or 3 games above 500 team.
If you look at just those,
not 20.
If you look at those numbers as a standalone, you could say that. But when you dig in deeper, and again, I think it's missed here with this team. I did the math last week. This team lost 46 or 48 runs out of their run differential in that horrible July. 35 of those came from starts from Nick Martinez, Chichi Gonzalez, and Kyle Loesch. 3 guys who were not in the rotation anymore.
Right.
Shouldn't have been in there in the first place. And so where did that come from? Well, if you had the regular rotation moving forward, is July a great month? No, it's probably a 500 month, but you're probably still sitting here looking at this team and saying, well, their run differential isn't great, but it's not what the team they've been compared to was the Baltimore Orioles, which had a negative 51 run differential through June and were 5 games over 500.
Well,
that's a fluke.
And that's the team that had set the record for the best record in one-run games. They had just this, I think it was like 28-9 or something like that. It's just some stupid record in one-run games. Well, thus far this season, the Rangers are 27-8.
Because they got to get back into the bullpen.
And in similar situations. And so you start to say, is that just flat lucky?
Some of it is, some of it isn't. Should they be 20 games over 500?
And
they should probably be 12 games over 500.
And it falls into...
But don't forget the other team. You got to play somebody else, too. You've got other teams that are down. And again, games that they should... They're having a couple of games the Rangers had no business winning that the other team just flat out lost.
Yeah.
There's your other 8 games. I mean, that's going to happen over 100. I mean, we played 100 games. You're going to have the other team lay an egg a couple of times. That makes up your difference.
Find more by subscribing to this channel and visiting us at www.thesportsnarrative.com. Join us every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central for a live edition of the Sports Narrative Show, brought to you by Xena Communications and G&K Services.